With the release of Ark Survival Ascended comes a bold claim of better AI pathfinding. While I have noticed some minor improvements, they largely still seem dumb to me. I'm Maximus, and this is a AI pathfinding test. Firstly, this is on single player and is on the island map. Test 1. Air and Sea. After several tests with flyers and sea creatures, both wild and tame, they still seem as dumb as ever. So specialist traps like this one by Captain Factdog still works. I'll leave the link in the description. Test 2. Navigation. Starting with tame creatures, I built a basic maze and used a compy and whistle command it to the other end. On the first attempt I had a slow start and eventually it got confused. But on the second attempt it figured it out, which did impress me. Now with a redesign, for visual reasons and speed, I tested it on a wild raptor, and after a promising start it got confused. After giving it a gentle tap, it seemed to have worked out its purpose, and it collected its treat. I did try it on a tamed Giga and a Rex, but they both failed. Test 3. Logic. Now this time I'm doing a simple logic test, to see if the AI makes a choice, and if so, will it make the same choice. By using my trusty compy again, it decided on its left, my right, and it made the same choice every time. I did try various dinos, the highlight being the Patchy refusing to move even further, the Terrorbird for giving me false hope, and the Rex just giving up. Now I tested if the tame dinos could work around bear traps. Obviously I didn't bother testing the wild one, otherwise it'd be pointless. It failed miserably. So I moved on to the wild raptor, and just like its tamed counterpart, it consistently went the same direction. It even blindly follows the same route despite placing a bear trap. Test 4. Traps. Now with this new pathfinding on ground dinos, and reports of it behaving differently to make it harder to trap. So let's start with a good old fashioned bob box. The raptor followed me in blindly, no questions asked. I just placed the wrong door frames for it, lol. So I gave myself a head start with a Rex to see if the distance makes a difference. And after several range tests on foot, and on tame, it clearly makes a difference. Now in the middle of my testing, Captain Factdog has released an interesting video, showing different dinos behaving differently, reacting to fence foundations, and to leave any comments for anything that could help. I'll leave the link in the description. I'm going to press on, hopefully this can help spark any ideas. So fence foundations. The trusty tamed compy ignored them. However, the wild raptor reacts, even when attacking. So I tested its navigation and logic, and it's fair to say it got confused. I am unsure why it changed direction. Maybe the AI thought it would be easy to get to me. Who knows? So I tested it with one fence foundation, then I got a reaction from 2. I changed it to a Rex, but that didn't start reacting until I reached 3 fence foundations and some range. Next I tried triangle foundations and ceilings. There's no ramps or fence foundations, thinking this could eliminate the navigational problem. At first I thought I cracked it. But it turned out to be a range thing again. Next I played around with pillars. and with a big enough gap they walk through. So with that in mind, I built a cheap trap with big pillar gaps, thinking this could be the one, and in the first attempt I was celebrating. But alas, it was a range thing, again. I even added fence foundations to act as a guide, thinking logically it would be easier for it to go over the ramps than to go around it. I was wrong. So with my ego deflated, I tested the old school traps. Firstly, billboards, which worked. Dino gates and bear traps, which worked. And finally a basic raft trap, which also worked. My conclusion: the AI pathway is inconsistent. You can run the same test, and the dino can get stuck or complete its task. Also, flyers and water dinos haven't changed. Wild and tame dinos do act differently. For the logic test, it will literally stick to one direction, no matter what. All the dinos do behave differently, so you can't assume anything. My theory is dinos with intelligence, for example, we presume the raptor is meant to be an intelligent creature, therefore wildcard are going to have a much more intelligent AI path. It's just a theory though. And finally, range is the king. I found out all the traps I tested work, if you're willing to have big chunks taken out of you. Now with the new structures being limiting, perhaps the old school ways is the new way. But fortunately there are far more intelligent people out there than me, so who knows. I hope this video has given you some ideas of what to do and what not to do. If you found this video helpful, please smash that like button. If you want more from me, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to stalk me, hit the notifications. Cheers and gone.